This case follows the adventures of three total idiots named Anic, Stilianu and Suleiman. In 1991, they went to the small South Australian riverland town of Glossop and invaded the home of a Mrs. Hollis, who lived at 13 Streeter Avenue. She was in the shower at the time and came out to find them in the house, ransacking the bedrooms of her two children. One of them grabbed her and demanded, "Where's the dope?" She told them, the court says in no uncertain terms, to leave. One of our three geniuses then asked, "Is this number 38? She said no. They had invaded the wrong house. Truly criminal masterminds. They left, but police soon rounded them up and they were charged with housebreaking with intent to commit a felony. A somewhat ingenious defence was raised on their behalf. It was argued that they couldn't have intended to commit a felony because even if there had been drugs in the house, Mrs. Hollis had no right to own those drugs, so stealing them would not be an offence because it would only be taking something she had no right to possess. So, can you steal something that a person has no right to possess? The court relied on an earlier passage of reasoning from the High Court. Essentially what they said was that if there had been drugs, Mrs. Hollis would have been entitled to the possession of those drugs. It's just that if such possession had been discovered, she would have been liable to the confiscation of the drugs and to whatever criminal consequences followed. Justice Boland said Mrs. Hollis had some proprietary rights in the drugs of which she had possession, sufficient to found the charges. I do not think that the law sees no offence in the taking of drugs illegally held by one person by another who intends permanently to deprive the one of those drugs. I do not think that the cry, "He has no right to have had them," amounts to an exculpatory answer for the culprit. From this case we learn that the offence of larceny or stealing is an offence against the person in possession of the things stolen. And this remains so even if their possession of that object constitutes a criminal offence. Unlawful drugs do not fall into the same category as, say, body parts, which are objects that cannot be owned.